1, go.
Hello, my name is Jen Huey, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. But because today's Easter, I'm visiting my parents in Greenwood, Delaware. And today I'm going to be making for you a chocolate truffle pie. First thing you want to do is heat up some heavy cream in a pan. Now you don't want this to boil, you just want it to be hot enough to melt your chocolate. And what I have here is 1 cup of heavy cream and 1 cup of bittersweet chocolate chips. So once this is hot enough, which I can see the steam coming off of it, so it looks like it is, we just want to pour this in here, like that, and give it a little shake, just to help the heavy cream get around those chips. Let it sit for a minute. And the reason I'm making this today is because one of my fondest memories of Easter was going over to my grandparents' house. And my grandparents only had my sister and I as grandchildren, so they would spoil us rotten. You can see us here. I think I'm 4 and my sister is 7, and they had this huge Easter basket that they would put on their mantle and fill half of it up with candy for my sister and half of it for me, and we draw a little line kind of down the middle so she would get what she wants and I would get what I want. And my grandparents, they were great and wonderful people. And what I'm making here is called a ganache. And this reminds me so much of my grandmother because I used to cook in a restaurant when I was young, and one of the things I would make is a chocolate cake that was covered in ganache. And she loved that ganache. So after I covered the chocolate cake in it and the excess ran off the side and into the pan, I would scrape it up and I'd take it to her on my way home from work. And she'd just sit there with a spoon and eat it like it was nothing. So I don't want to hear anything about heavy cream not being good for you because she lived plenty long enough and she loved it. So now that it's had a chance to kind of get around and melt, we're going to just stir it. And for this, you might need a whisk sometimes. There we go. Really get it in there good. You can see turning now. And looks great. Smells delicious. It smells like Easter. And just get some of that chocolate off. And what I have here is a store-bought chocolate crumb crust. You can make your own, but if you're pressed for time, this is easy. And this is a super easy recipe to do, which is what's so great about it. Now I'm going to pour about half of this chocolate ganache, and it does smell good, into the bottom of the pie pan. Now I'm going to take this, kind of shake it to level it out some. I'm going to stick this in the fridge for a few minutes. And while I'm here, I'm going to pull out my mixer. I put my mixer bowl in here with some half a cup of heavy whipping cream. And the reason I did this is the colder your bowl is, the easier it is to whip. I'm just going to place this on my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, that's fine. Regular mixer will work perfectly. And I'm just going to set that to whip up. As that's whipping, I'm going to add a tablespoon of powdered sugar to my leftover chocolate ganache. And since I have it out, I'm going to add a tablespoon in here. Now, for the key ingredient, the Philadelphia cream cheese, I'm going to add that to my chocolate ganache. And it's been sitting on the counter for about a half an hour or so. So it's plenty soft that I should be able to break this up and mix it all together. I've got it started mixing. I'm going to switch over to my whisk again to work it in together really well. Now this is a real decadent dessert. Not so good if you're watching your weight. But hey, it's Easter, right? So you just want to whip this up nice and good. You can do this in the mixer as well if you like. But I figure I've already got one bowl dirty, so that's one less to clean. Alright, beautiful, fluffy, delicious looking. Just going to give it a stir, make sure I got everything off of the bottom. Now I'm going to go get that pie crust. Now, I'm going to take my chocolate and I'm just going to set it on top of the chocolate ganache. Kind of spread it around a little bit. Make sure all that goodness is out of there. We don't want to miss any of it. There we go. Beautiful. This is whipping up nicely. I'm just going to get a little bit of vanilla to add to it. There we go. This is one of those recipes where I don't always measure. Perfect. Let's remove this. Pull this back in the sink. We better get a different spatula. And just have some nice good old whipped cream. This is the other thing that my Nana, she used to love. She would just eat whipped cream till the cows came home. We just want to put some of this on top. Very nice. There was a half a cup of heavy cream in here. You can add more if you like. I know if my Nana was here today, I'm sure she'd have it piled up to about here, because that's the way she liked it. But she was one of those lucky little devils that could eat a pound of butter a day and a quart of heavy cream and she'd never gain a pound. Not quite that lucky. So here we go. We have this lovely chocolate truffle pie with the center of ganache and cream cheese. It's absolutely delicious. Now, Paula, I'm a lot like you. So I gotta get in here right now. We're gonna pretend nobody sees this. I think we can cover it up with the little bit more heavy cream. You see, nobody ever noticed. I'm gonna enjoy some right now. Very good. Delicious. Thank you very much, Philadelphia Cream Cheese, for a chance to submit chocolate ganache pie. Have a good Easter.